Guards, stand right there! You are a traitor!
Who dares to frame the queen?
You stand accused Naya of treason. Stood surrounded by 20 spears, accused of treason. But the real question was not whether she was guilty. It was this: who was powerful enough to frame the queen? Lord Varro presented a letter that appeared to prove Naya had betrayed the kingdom. The palace believed the evidence. Naya knew it was a lie. Naya looked straight at King Kelan and said, I didn't write this. But for the first time, even the king seemed unsure whom to trust. Years before becoming queen, Naya was simply a fisherman's daughter. Her father, Toma, had taught her one thing: never be afraid to question what doesn't make sense. One evening, Toma discovered that the palace was stealing taxes meant for ordinary villagers. He had records proving it. 3 days later, Toma vanished. The palace claimed he had drowned, but Naya never believed them. As she grew older, Naya became known for challenging corrupt officials. She wasn't afraid of titles, uniforms, or threats. One day, King Kelan secretly visited the market and watched Naya confront a dishonest tax collector. Everyone else was afraid. Naya wasn't. Afterward, Kelan approached her. Naya had no idea she was speaking to the king. Kelan asked what she would change if she had power. Naya looked toward the palace and answered, I would ask one question. What are we missing? The next morning, royal messengers arrived at Naya's village. Her mother was terrified. Naya was being summoned to the palace. Naya entered the palace expecting punishment. Instead, she found herself standing before the very king she had unknowingly challenged in the market. King Kelan shocked her with one question. Will you become my wife? Naya agreed, but she warned him, I will never lie to you, and if I think you're wrong, I'll tell you. Kelan simply replied, Good. Their marriage shocked the kingdom. Everyone expected Princess Amara to become queen. Instead, the fisherman's daughter wore the crown. Naya wasted no time. She entered the royal kitchen and began asking questions about the kingdom's food supplies. The numbers didn't add up. The palace had received 30 baskets of grain, but only 12 remained. Someone was stealing. Naya's investigation uncovered a hidden warehouse filled with stolen royal grain. Her reforms had begun. Then she entered the royal treasury. The missing money was far greater than anyone expected. Naya showed the evidence to King Kelan. Millions had disappeared over the years. Kelan could only ask, How long? Naya answered, Years. Every corrupt official Naya exposed meant another enemy, and Lord Varro was watching her closely. Varro met with Chief Maro and made his decision. If the king won't remove her, he said, we'll make him believe she betrayed him. Then, Naya discovered something that shook her completely. Her father's name was inside an old royal record. He hadn't been a criminal. He had been investigating the same corruption she was now uncovering. Naya showed the document to Mama Seli. Her mother finally admitted that she had always suspected Toma was telling the truth. Naya realized her father might still be alive. For 12 years, she had mourned a man whose fate had never truly been proven. Now she was determined to find him. Naya confronted Kelan. My father was investigating your palace before he disappeared. Kelan realized the mystery went deeper than he had imagined, but before they could uncover the truth, Lord Varro planted forged evidence inside Naya's chambers. Royal guards found a letter that appeared to show Naya communicating with an enemy kingdom. The trap had worked. Naya was arrested and escorted through the palace she had worked so hard to protect. The people she had defended now watched her like a criminal. And that brought her back to the moment where our story began. 20 spears surrounded her. The king was silent, and Lord Varro believed he had won. But Naya looked carefully at the letter. Something wasn't right. The handwriting looked like hers. But one small detail was wrong. Her real letters were brought out. Naya placed them beside the forged document. The difference became obvious. Someone had copied her handwriting. Then the royal archivist examined the ink. It came from the royal archive, and there was only one man who controlled those records, Lord Varro. King Kelan finally stood. Search Varro's residence. For the first time, Varro looked afraid. The guards found stolen records, gold, maps, and secret correspondence hidden inside Varro's home. But the greatest discovery was still waiting beneath the palace. Kelan found a message left by his dead brother. It warned that the conspiracy went deep into the palace, and it gave them one final clue: search beneath the old palace. That night, Naya, Kelan, and the guards entered the ancient tunnels beneath the palace. They walked deeper and deeper into the darkness. Then they heard something. Someone was alive behind an iron door. Naya heard the voice and froze. She knew it. It was her father. Toma was alive. After 12 years, Naya finally held the father she had believed was dead, but Toma had one more terrible truth to reveal. The corruption was bigger than Lord Varro. Merchants, military commanders, and palace officials had all been working together. They had even been responsible for the death of King Kelan's brother. Kelan moved quickly. The conspirators were arrested, their stolen wealth recovered, and Lord Varro's influence finally collapsed. But one military commander escaped with the remaining evidence. Naya realized they shouldn't chase him. They should follow him. The commander led them straight to an abandoned trading post. There, the final records of the conspiracy were recovered. The truth could no longer be hidden. Before the kingdom, King Kelan officially cleared Toma's name. The fisherman who had been branded a criminal was finally recognized as the man who had tried to expose the truth. Years later, Naya stood beside King Kelan as their children played near the river. She had never wanted a crown. She had only wanted people to stop being afraid of the truth, and that was why the people of Akwer gave her a name she carried proudly, the Open Eye. Because sometimes, the person everyone calls troublesome is simply the person brave enough to ask, what are we missing? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment with what you would have done if you were in Naya's position.